Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. It's the grand finals of the ESL Weekly Cup. We got Dark in the bottom right side, narrowly eliminated by his opponent CLEM up here in the top left in last week's match. I think they played in like the semis or the round of 8. And Dark is doing his famous 3-hatch build where he scouts for proxy barracks and then he goes and takes that third base. So gasless into 3 gases just after 3 minutes 30 and a Roach Warren. It's a very funky build order. Now these drones could mine a bit more just by stacking up on these mineral patches, but that takes a bit of micro. So Dark's just doing it nice, easy way, rally the drones to the natural straight away, do a few long distance trips. Easier to make sure you don't mess up the micro on your other units. Alright. SCV sees the expansion, but that doesn't tell you about the fact that this is a gasless 3-hatchery build. CLEM does go for the factory. Is he going to build a second gas? The answer is no. That second gas would already be down. So he's planning to play a 3 command center build. Reaper's going to come in and start picking at the Zerglings. Now, Dark has sometimes been going Ling Bane off this opening, so keep our eyes on that. There is a few weird options that he's been mixing in. I don't think he'll do it on this map. But if it was like Radhuset Station or something like that, I think he might do it there. Reaper does get 2 Zerglings, which is a very good start, but getting hit by that Queen, he has to back off, and Dark is able to immediately start the creep spread. Extra Queen pops out of the main, starts injecting, and the natural building another Queen as well. 4 Queens already on the way, actually. Third command center starting it there for CLEM. He's going to go for a starport, and the second barracks in position to potentially build a tech lab. Reaper keeps on taking damage. He's looking for snipes on the tumors, but he's so low on hit points, he has to be very careful. Does take another hit from the Queen. He's going to have to pull back to regen. Double Hellion started up at about 3 minutes 10 this game. Second gas on the natural expansion. And the Reaper's still just veering around. I think with a 3-hatch timing, he should realize this is the gasless build. Diving 4 Hellions can be very effective against this, as long as you go the very second you get your 3rd and 4th Hellion on the map. 3 minutes 40, Dark goes for 3 gases, and here's a Roach Warren, about 3:38. Looks like he started that. 3:33 for the Roach Warren. And a Banshee on the way, and Cloak. Okay, that I wasn't really expecting a Banshee opening. I feel like Banshee is kind of one of the weakest things you can do against this gasless play, because he's already got a good Queen count and a ton of drones, and if he was to skip spores, that would be absolutely crazy. Like, it makes no sense for Dark to skip spore crawlers. Don't get me wrong, you could argue the Banshees keep you safe later on against certain roach attacks, but I don't know, man. I feel like Queens can always just get in an Overlord and come across the map, and they completely negate the power of 2 Banshees if you bring 4 Queens with your push. So definitely something where I'm not the biggest fan of the Banshee opening against such a greedy Zerg build. I always feel it's like dive the Hellions in, kill a bunch of drones, be super greedy behind it, you know, be a bit more extreme. Whereas Clem is playing a very middle-of-the-road approach, and against other Dark builds, I like it. But, like, look at this. Why is he guarding his main against Nidus Worm right now? Against a guy who's done a super fast 3rd base. To me, this tells me that Clem is thinking more about weird, cheesy builds Dark's done to him in the past, rather than adapting to the game that's in front of him. Luckily for him, Dark is hitting a bit of a supply block in a moment, I believe, at 98 supply. Unfortunately for Dark, it's one of those ones where you think you just built a full round of units without getting supply blocked because you stopped 1 shy. But he's hitting his supply block and not realizing, and that's so much worse, because he's going to have a full round of injects pop. He's going to be really desperate to spend his money, and he's not going to be able to do it. Luckily, the Roaches dying does clear up a bit of his supply to replace with drones, so funnily enough, losing those Roaches offsets it a little bit. Allows him to build 8 more drones along with those 2 Overlords, but Dark should probably be building 5 or 6 Overlords at a time right now. And the Banshees both going home is actually a real big problem, because guess what? He skipped his spores. If the Banshees went in on time, they could have done massive damage. But now, by going home to defend that 3 Roach counterattack, such a small move for Dark. It's a very small commitment. He kills a few SCVs, and he pulls the Banshees home, thereby keeping himself safe against the Banshees because he has time to build spores at home. What a great start for Dark. He even diverts these workers. And as the lair finishes, we've already got an Overseer on the way to help out. Oh, Roaches are a bit out of position. Hellions are going to dive. This is a bit of a late dive here for Clem. Hard to make this one worth it, guys. Very hard to make this worth it, but good drive-bys. Oh man, the roaches are kind of derping. The queens are trying to head back towards the main. That's more damage than I expected. 11 workers do go down. It ain't nothing. That being said, Dark is at 75 going on 80 drones in the midst of it. He's building more drones in the midst of this than are dying from it. And that tells you it's still a decent position to be in. Clem has to go back to a standard frontal fighting army now, marines and tanks and the like. He will follow up with a double stim drop on the left. And he's in a very action-packed early game. He's forgotten combat shields. Ooh, second factory goes down. Armory's on the way. Do not forget combat shields, Clem. Okay, let's watch this from Clem's vision, guys. He's there with the Banshees, pulls them back from those queens, realizing, okay, there's no fifth base, but he's distracted the queens. He's going to go forward, tries to focus a Ravager, but good pullbacks on the Ravagers. He just kills 1, 2, 3, 4 roaches for just 1 or 2 marines. Great trade. Pulls back, builds depots. He does not realize the combat shields has not started. Oh no. Yeah, he was so focused on what he was targeting down aggressively, he wasn't really thinking, hey, these marines are fragile. Looking at his army here, he should notice soon. Those marines don't quite look right, but of course, he's just kind of boxing things and doing stuff. There we go, he notices combat shields does start up. It's very easy to just have your eyes on the minimap, constantly thinking about the upgrades and the wireframe down the bottom, you know, where you're selecting these barracks and looking down the bottom at what they're doing. Pretty big drop on the left. Now, Dark's going to try to swap into Baneling play here. I really feel Infestor play is way better if you just get a few Infestors. I think Banelings are still good later on, but I do think, I don't know. I've been harping on about it a lot, but I just feel like, why not squeeze 2 Infestors in? If you're going for a quick hive, it feels like a no-brainer. Dark is the best in the world at using Infestors as well, so anytime he doesn't give me a chance to look at his Infestor play, I get a bit annoyed. On the other hand, he doesn't like being predictable, and I think Dark feels he's used so many Infestors over the recent months, he's like, screw that, man. I'm going to go Vipers, and he's playing a lot of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Ultra Viper, and that in itself is a very good style, especially as these new map pool, the bases get very spread out. The Terrans start to spread themselves very thin across the map, and having a super mobile composition like that is great. Not to say Infestors aren't mobile, you can burrow those all over the map and really abuse the terrain. The terrain on the big map. I never meant to say terrain there at all. The Terran on the terrain of the big map. Ling's in the main. Ling speed is going to finish momentarily. Don't think you can really unload on that unless you get in the corner over here to the left or something like that. You might try for it. Is he going to scoot back in? No. Pulls out. 3 Vipers about to pop. 2-2 melee Carapace is about in line with the Terran upgrades. The melee, sorry, is delayed, but the Carapace is in line. Hellbat morphs there as well. Tanks moving forwards. It is double factory tank production, lib production, and 8 barracks going up behind this. 4th base floating out and a Ghost Academy on the way for the next step. Mass Ling army for Dark. Does go for a counterattack, but actually gets aggroed on top here. Imagine having just a fungal. Oh, the Banelings are not very scary in such low numbers right now. Lings go across the map, but this got spotted miles away. I don't think he should have kept going for this after he got spotted leaving his own base. The Lings get wrecked over there. Actually, on the 4th, he does deny that from morphing. Queen's pulling back. Roach Ravager Baneling will force the Marines in and out a little bit. And it looks like the Siege Tank going to clean up those Zerglings. 4th Command Center gets denied only temporarily. Whereas Dark loses his 5th base. And that's a problem. He can transfer drones to the left. He's still got 4 bases up. But he's got to keep that one going. A couple Zerglings have burrowed inside the mineral line. Marines are heavily damaged. Blinding Clouds on the tanks. Oh, Clem overcommits with this push, but he does focus down the high-energy Viper. A Parasitic Bomb would have been beautiful on those medevacs. Oh, careful with those Vipers, mate. Going to try and pull those Vipers back, suck some energy off one of his buildings. Burrowed Zergling blocking Clem's 4th. Clem's answer here is to just keep on attacking. He's got to fix up his base layout, and he's got to deal with the Nidus Worm, man. He seems to be going back up into his main base now. His tanks were blocking him a little bit. That 4th base finally is going to be allowed to land. What's going to pop out in the main? Just Zerglings for now. Nothing to be too worried about. The Marauders even block those Zerglings. And the ones in the mineral line are going to be as annoying as possible, burrowing as far back as they can. Hoo-wee! APM off the charts. Both players in at about 400 APM. That's actions per minute. That's a lot. You know, it's always funny when you're just like, wait, is he doing like 8 actions a minute? And you're like, yeah, almost. I guess 7 actions a minute. Poof. Ultras are only 2 Ultras out. Chitinous plating not quite done, but the Ultralisk speed upgrade is also there. Gives a 10% movement speed upgrade off creep. 2 more command centers building for Clem right now. He doesn't have many command centers, so we will need those the longer this game goes, but I feel like that Nidus Worm is really taking the momentum away from him. Unfortunately, there's no Hydras, no Corruptors. Otherwise, you could abduct them and pull them back and kill them. As it is, the Vipers are just looking for parasitic bombs. And he's going to drop them. Nice. Oh, a third one goes into the pack as well. The Baneling's running forward. Lots of damage on those medevacs from those parasitic bombs. Well worth repairing that. On the right side, the drop runs in to a pack of Ling Bane and does not find the mark. Dark has the bottom left base coming up and this base on the right. He's got 3-3 chitinous plating. No sign of a spy or anything like that. Looks like he's getting ready to do a Ling drop up top. Zergling's unburrowing in the main base. SCV's quickly reacting, and he does reburrow, just trying to cause as many scans to be used defensively as possible. Clem's stuck on the defense. How is Dark going to take advantage? 4 Overlords up there. This base is so hard to attack up that ramp. This one is very exposed. This base you can jump on, but going up the ramp there is not a good idea. This base here is a little more open, especially if you can break these rocks. Definitely worth Dark sending a few Lings forward to break those rocks on the third base sooner rather than later. Dark's creep spread lacking in this game. He's got full map control, but he's a player who wants to kill, so he's not really defensively responsible. And he's actually left his gold base exposed. He's going to go for a big attack right now, but he pulls back. Biles the tank, drops some parasitic bombs, and pulls out. Luckily for him, Clem is not watching. Clem was so worried about the attack, and the Ling drop comes in as well. Ultra gets on top, and that should be able to defend this base. Those drones can go back to mining. On the right side, another drop gets jumped on. Clem is getting overwhelmed by the raw multitasking here, but oh, an armory goes down just before +2 vehicle weapons finishes as well. And Clem is getting very frustrated, no doubt, with this onslaught of units. Ravagers coming in on the right, gets a medevac and a tank with some biles. These units, these trades aren't free. 13,000 to 10,000. Banelings burrowing inside the mineral line. Oh my god, he burrowed in the mineral line, guys. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, Clem, watch out, mate. Oh my god. Okay, watch this, watch this. They're stacking. They're stacking. Oh, go, 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 go. 11 SCVs get boom, boom. Great move. Dark with an in the midst of the combat, burrowing a few Banelings. Clem was not expecting that. Gets caught off guard, loses a bunch of workers. Very cute moves. Also good psychological impact. The Terran is kind of shocked by it. If you can get their adrenaline pumping, that's always a very good thing in a game of StarCraft. No one wants the adrenaline pumping. You want to be calm. There's too many things you need to do at too high a speed. And as important as reaction speed is, adrenaline leads to shaky controls pretty consistently. Baneling's rolling in towards the mineral line. Planetary Fortress does get taken out, but man, good defensive engage for Clem. 5,000 resources, better trading. Not only that, guys, the Iron Bank, he's on 4 orbitals right now. He's not got an Iron Bank. He's not really even got one on the way. He's trying to build more command centers. Clem is just trying to hang on and win the long, slow game. He won a very long, slow game on Alcyon versus Dark last week. He's looking to repeat it here on Golden Aura. Army coming in from the left side. There's not a lot of... Oh, Banelings from the left actually crash into the army, force a hot pickup. And he does pull back, but look at that. Ling drop in the main again. Oh, Clem is like, can you just leave me alone, dude? What the hell? Stop it. That main base is meant to be a safe area for Terran, and yet he just keeps on being a nuisance. He's even got a Nidus so he can pop Lings out, load them in the Overlords, and then get them here faster rather than having to run Lings across the map always. Not sure how much he'll utilize that, as there is still a lot of consecutive actions and attention required. But here we go, big attack, big attack! He's looking for the parasitic bombs on the medevacs. That's where he's been getting a lot of value this whole game. EMP lands, but the Viper already throws its spells. Those parasitic bombs are deadly. The mineral line gets absolutely blasted. And Dark, consecutive waves blasting through 25 workers and gets a command center. Clem, whenever he loses a fight, he always wants to chase and punish the Zerg, but he cannot do it. He is going to bait in another attack, but he's not even ready for it. The Banelings come in, and another planetary goes down. Clem may have siege tanks layered back here, but he's lost the heart of his income. He's at 40 workers. Dark has not spread creep in 5 minutes in this game. That tumor, remember I said his creep spread's not good? Hasn't spread it at all. Has not bothered replacing creep. Does not care. Dark is just focusing on attacking He's not got contingencies. He's just making mass Ultra Ling Bane Viper. And you know what? It's working out pretty well. Counterattack for Clem. As I said, predictably, Clem tries to counterattack whenever the game's going bad for him. Bad angle for Clem. For Dark, I would guess. But he still clears a few tanks, forces the bio back a little bit. And there's no reason to stand and fight. Like, you can give this base up. Lings do a nice run by into that base, clawing at the SCVs. Unfortunately, Dark does pull them home there with a bit of an F2 right click potentially. And Vipers coming forwards. Queens and Biles will slowly take care of those Liberators. Ultra Ling overwhelms the tanks, and Clem is running home, his tail between his legs. The Zerg chasing after him. Yet another parasitic bomb there. Good split, but it still kills a medevac. Another one goes down. That medevac falls, and there is just nothing left here. Blinding Cloud onto the siege tanks as well, abducting Liberators out of siege mode. Dark is all over this game, and he starts off the grand finals with a 1-0 advantage. What a great way to open up the series. All right, let's go into game 2. Down here in the bottom right, we've got Liquid's Clem. And he's going for the low ground 2-Rex Reaper Wolf. I think this is Clem's worst build against Dark generally. Even though he's done it a lot recently, I feel like he often comes out on even or slightly behind. So we'll see how he plays it out though. Dark in the top left. I would imagine he's going to go gas pool. No, is he doing a gasless build again? Dark is addicted to this build, man. He's going 18 spawning pool, scout for proxies into a third hatchery. Wow. I mean, it's only he's using this build so much. I think it's only a matter of time until players start finding a way to punish it really consistently.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Oh, thank you very much, Paramount, for the sub there. Appreciate the love. Sorry, guys, I was just drinking some hot water to keep the voice going. I'm casting this live at the end of a long tournament day, so it does take a little while to get it going. Get real, thank you for the 7 months as well. Sorry, guys, I left the sound alerts on. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize, but that's all right. We're going to say thanks anyway to those people watching live and supporting the channel. Big thanks to everyone who's been commenting on YouTube and all that sort of stuff as well. Is west right, says Dark. So guys, if you want to see the server, you can press Control-Alt-F and it makes this text pop up in the bottom left, in the top left. It's always very small, but it's especially tiny for me since I'm using a 4K resolution. But yeah, that's funny that Dark doesn't even know that that is Control-Alt-F to make that one show up. Reaper's going to come in, and Clem, he doesn't know about that third hatchery. 6 Zerglings here, so a very safe opening for Dark, trying to make sure he doesn't lose any Zerglings. No excuse to lose any in this scenario. And that third hatchery gets spotted, so let's see if Clem once again tries something to take advantage. Now, it looks like he's going to go for the factory into the reactor, where you go for the early Cyclones to join up with these Reapers. Seeing the third hatchery, he could have just kept building Reapers to deny that third base. I do believe that works if you build enough Reapers. I don't know if this build order for Dark is really that good against this. Oh, okay. Careful, Clem. Clem's getting a little over-eager right now, and he's looking like he's going to lose a Reaper. Dancing with death there. Doesn't want to let the Creep Tumor get down and connect the bases, because that allows the Queens to properly defend it, but third Command Center's on the way behind this. There is a factory coming up, ready to swap over and start a few Cyclones. You could try to go full-on Cyclone pressure here, knowing the Roaches are so late. Lair and Roach speed would be super duper late. And you know what? Clem's build order, I think, does counter this build order, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens in the next minute or two. I think technically he should be able to damage these Queens quite a bit with the Reapers. I think if he went 5 Reapers, he really would have been able to just dance around and find damage. So far, not really getting that much done. Roach Horns on the way. 3 more gases coming up as well. Do we go for more Cyclones after this? 2 Hellions. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Thank you very much for getting the hype train going, everybody. Let me just very quickly shut down the alert sound so that doesn't bug the people watching on YouTube too much. Apologies for this, guys. There we go. All right, looks like the Reapers and the Queens were having a bit of a skirmish while we were tapped out. The Overlord does get picked off there. Thank you so much for the hype train. Those watching live, we'll give you guys shout outs in between the games. Overlord goes down. Queen. Whoa! Okay, Queen survives. Reaper does go down. The Hellions are here, but Feels like Dark's already up 15 workers. He's looking smooth. He doesn't look too worried by this. Another Reaper gets picked off. Oh, you don't want to be losing these Reapers. You got to be real careful with the micro here. Just chip away, do damage. I mean, there's no transfuse energy right now, but keep the Reaper and the Hellions back. The problem here for Clem is if he loses the Reaper and the Hellions, he loses a little bit of the buffer and support for those Cyclones. He did some good damage. He did force all the Queens to the front, so notice there's no injects going right now. Finally sending these Queens back is Dark while trying to go double Evo, Lair, and he's trying to go up to 4 gases right now. Clem, he's got a few Hellions coming in. Also, those Roaches waiting on the high ground. Nice ambush. Oh, but Dark was just a little bit too close to the low ground there. Just barely was down the ramp. I think he misjudged it. Didn't realize where the middle point was on that ramp. Third command center floating down. We've got 2 barracks and a factory pumping. Third barracks on the way. Hellions are going to run into the main base, but they're all so damaged already. Can he really get any damage done? Nice micro so far by Clem. Dark does manage to, with the drones there, take out one of them. Only 6 worker kills go down, and this feels to me like it's been a better opening for Dark. In terms of units lost, it has. Can start a 4th base behind this, build a lot of Overlords, start making 1-1 Roaches. Feels like Clem still needs to get a little bit more damage. Maybe a cancel on the 4th base. He can't miss a beat on his tank production. Otherwise, a 1-1 Roach Ravager timing, I feel like Dark's supply is going to just absolutely explode out of control. 7.5 minutes, about the time when these upgrades finish. I think we're going to see him with a good 40 supply lead, maybe more. Does get a cancel on the 4th. Nice moves there for Clem. But a little fancy trying to pick up individual Marines that were taking damage, though. Combat Shields is done. 1-1 upgrades on the way. 4th and 5th barracks coming up in that main base. There was definitely, it looks like a little bit of downtime on that second siege tank starting. Not a massive amount. As I said, you can't have any downtime. 2 Marines for a Roach. Not a very good trade there for Clem. Look at the supply. Remember, about 7.5 minutes is where the attack timing naturally sits. If Dark doesn't queue up any drones, and it doesn't look like he's planning to, nothing but Roaches for now. He's got a 32 supply army advantage that's almost purely army right now. Second factory's on the way, armory. I'd like to see these tanks sit maybe here. Yeah, he's keeping the tanks in a very safe position, which is the right call. I don't like the second factory building outside the base. If you're on the back foot against a guy who's probably going to Roach Ravager roll in you, you should always build the factory in a safe position on the high ground. And you shouldn't really be investing in depots out here either, because you know there's a good chance you have to lift that base. Building a 4th command center and a bunker out front. He's trying to move his tanks forward. Clem's moving forward to secure the low ground. Now, Dark's taking a while to hit this attack. He is up 50 supply, though. A little supply blocked on 178. A bit unfortunate for Dark. It's not the worst supply block, though. He's got 11 Ravagers. It's a giant all-in. These tanks really far back. Those tanks on the right are so far back. I feel like... Oh, God. Here we go. Here we go! Dark's going for it. The army coming in from the top. Way behind, though, the army from the bottom. The bunker will go down pretty early. The tank in the mineral line goes down. The Ravagers on the right are going to take out one of those siege tanks. The Marines trying to defend, but there's only 1 tank left. On that right side, another tank does pop out. The Marines running forward to try to punish the Ravagers. Easier said than done. The Roach count is extremely high. And as I said, this factory out here, even though it walls off the front, which does slow down the advance, it does have to get lifted, which means you've only got single tank production. I do like that tank placement there. Very nice. The Roaches are going to start taking tank shots as they come in. It's okay to pull SCVs as long as you don't lose your tanks here. You've just got to hang on as Clem. It's all about surviving. If you let Dark get a 2-0 advantage here, he will run away with this series. Clem hangs on very impressively. He ends up floating that factory back to the high ground. But he's missed a full tank or 2 of production in this time. Now, Dark only now starts drones, 2-2 upgrades in an infestation pit. So this is classic Dark. He was not planning ahead. He was 100% committed to that move. And because of this, he's very slow to start doing anything else that's going to be good in the next step of the game. That being said, he's far enough ahead in supply. Mass Roach Ravager isn't bad. It's just, it's hard to kill Clem, number 1. And number 2, these units, you don't want to keep investing in them because they're going to scale poorly, unless you can do a big timing attack. Clem a little slow to pick up these units. You do not want to take a fight like that, Clem. Clem just took a very bad fight, trying to stand his ground, almost like trying to call Dark's bluff there, but Dark just shoved up, took the fight, no F's given. If Dark pushes in here, his Roaches and Ravagers will get wrecked. There is only 1 medevac on the other side of the map. But biling down the sensor tower. That's a smart move, and trying to trade versus the Marines because he knows Clem always wants to run at the Roach Ravager. He needs to pull back and get his siege tanks forward, but Clem is known for always running his bio ball towards the Roach Ravager, which I get the Marines have a very good firepower. They're faster, they shoot faster, so you can kind of move around in a ball and try to collapse the flank of the Roach Ravager. But when you're outnumbered this hard, fighting out here is very dangerous for Clem. Drop still dancing around in the top, unable to find an opening. Catches a few Ravagers morphing, takes out 2 of them. Few Biles landing though. Clem is fighting out here. And definitely seems like he's going to need to just slow down for a moment. Hive and Lurker Den on the way. Dark's going to try to play Viper Lurker transition. His Lurker Den is late though. It's only starting as the Hive is about to finish. Oh, a couple tanks in the open. The bio trying to fight here. The Medivacs took some damage. Clem bled out so much bio fighting away from the siege tanks. And that's what opened up this opportunity for Dark to push in and punish him. Now he's going to try and chase the Ravagers down. But that's what's been getting him in trouble this whole time, is chasing the Ravagers. Dark may be overcommitting though. Maybe overcommitting there. Concussive Shells is done. The 2-2 bio does pretty nicely. Guns a few more of these Ravagers down. Oh, you don't want to lose the Biles. Okay, nicely done by Clem. Clem's got to pull back though. He gets a lot of Ravager kills. Is this actually okay for Clem? It might be, man. The tail end of those fights are always so bad when it's just Ravagers fighting bio. But there was a lot of tanks that went down as well. 7 siege tanks have died this game. Units lost tab is in favor of Clem, as it always is in this matchup. 2 Vipers building. Clem hanging on, trying to fight back with whatever he can. No sign of ghosts or anything like that. He does have 3-3 started, whereas it hasn't begun yet for Dark. Nice. Good micro by Clem, saving a lot of those units, but uh-oh. Crazy Roach Ravager attack comes in, gets another tank. Luckily for Clem, one of his siege tanks barely survives. Dark, oh, he doesn't have Lurkers out yet, and he never built any Infestors, so he doesn't have a great way to punish Clem for running this ball of bio around. It's this sort of cavalier, I'm going to run a big pack of Marines around and try to punish you move. That's where Infestors can shut that down. But Dark has not been building any Infestors so far today. Liberator comes in on the right side. Queens are well positioned, and especially with Transfuse available, he's going to shut that Liberator down. Fire clearing the creep up. Dark's map control does suck. It's also a small map where Terran tends to excel the longer the game goes. Marine Marauder fighting. Maybe a little slow on the pickup. Now that there's Hydras and Vipers out, he's got to be real careful. Hail Mary Bile almost hits his units. Oh, the Ling's actually there. Could have dragged the Widowmine in and killed some Medivacs. Good unload for Clem, who's going to go for a giant push down the right flank. 3-3 is about a minute out from finishing. Double tanks, mass Marine Marauder. It is a momentum style here for Clem. Dark sees the rocks getting broken. He knows what's happening. He's making his first Lurkers, but he's very low on gas in this game. He's finally mining gases on his 4th base, but I think it took him a little bit too long to start doing that. He also lost so much gas in Ravagers that just keep getting picked off. Clem not letting those Ravagers hit and run the way Dark wants to. Abducting the siege tanks. Number 1 goes in. Number 2 gets abducted as well. Tank spread is still pretty fearsome though. There's only a couple of abducts left. There we go. Abduct 1, abduct 2, transfuses as well. He's going to try and bile yet another siege tank. So many tanks have died this game. 12 now, but there's still 4 tanks behind that. Does he try to push in right now while the Vipers are low on energy? Looks like the answer is yes. This is a dangerous move. I think this works really well for Dark. Clem goes for a giant all-in, throws his army into the Lurkers. The Roach Ravager counterattacks, kills all but one of his siege tanks. There was no way Clem was going to break that. Clem is still trying to headbutt into the Lurker Viper, trying to overwhelm when the Viper energy is low, but the Vipers have actually regained most of that energy because that last fight was so bad he didn't even need to use the Vipers to help there. Vipers abducting the tanks. Clem finally focuses one down. He's got Ghosts on the way as well as 2 more command centers. Clem is attacking where anyone else would defend. It is a small map where he's had some momentum advantage. Even though Dark is hanging on very fiercely, you just don't want to be fighting with Roach Ravager against 3-3 bio. Being down 2 upgrades, similar army supplies, and using Roach Ravager versus Stim Bio, the Stim Bio is a much better composition. There's no Vipers, no Infestors on the field. With no Spellcasters, there's not really much comeback chance for Dark. Clem has weathered the storm successfully, despite being greedy earlier on against the Roach timing. And Dark not able to finish him off, and this bio just dancing around, finding engagements wherever they can. He's a bit overstimmed right now, so I do want to see Clem kind of pull back right now and get this army out of here. He's taking quite a few losses there on the right side. It looks like a mass lurker Hydra attack came in there. Sorry, bad observing from me. Get those SCVs out of there, Clem. Does hide some SCVs on the right side. A couple snipes getting broken. Dark with a very quick retreat. That lurker goes down, and it looks like that lurker on the right side will get popped as well. 7 SCVs fall. Clem has to pull home with everything else. Dark is desperate. He's trying to catch him, not ready for the lurkers. Concussive shells is great, though. Lurkers attacking down south. Clem quickly moves to intercept. It's only 4 lurkers, a few hydras, and a few roaches. This is not a good army for Dark. He's looking to catch Clem, making mistakes, but Clem still sieges, he still spreads, he scans, he stims, and he spreads that bio all over those lurkers, makes a sandwich of it, takes a big chomp out of it, and says, yum, yum. Clem ties up the series. They're looking damn evenly matched. Clem in the bottom right side, tying up the series for Team Liquid. Dragon Kaiser's Dark in the top left. I gotta say, I criticize Clem a lot for the way he grabs that ball of bio and kind of, you know, attacks in. If you imagine there's like a big line of Roach Ravagers spread out like this, now I always feel like just defend in front of your siege tanks. Tanks are back here at the bottom of our screen. Get your bio in front and just fight. But Clem always will grab his bio and he'll run to a flank. He'll stim out to one side, try to kill that, and then work his way back around to the other side. And it's because the Roach Ravager is just slower than the bio. It can't really close in on them. As long as you keep moving and shooting, it's like the Roach Ravager just can't all attack at once. And it's this thing where if you have insanely high level of micro, yes, you might lose some tanks on your left flank doing that, running up to the right while the Roach Ravager comes in. But a lot of the Roach Ravager is just chasing after the bio and not really landing hits. And even though Roaches have 4 range, Marines 5, it's not a big advantage. The Marauders have 6, you've got concussive, and you've just got a higher firing rate. So you can kind of move and shoot much more fluidly. So as much as I criticize Clem for kind of leaving his tanks behind and also overstimming his bio and getting a bit exposed sometimes, it gives him so many victories in engagements where normally Dark would just be able to harass, drop some biles, and then run away. So I've got to give it to Clem. You know, his crazy aggressive style, it comes with some downsides that I'm very vocal about. I should be a bit more vocal, to be fair to him, on the upsides of that micro as well, and call that out. It's so opposite to what I would ever want to do in most players because we can't micro it reliably enough, but he's fantastic. I do want to see Dark mix Infestors in this series. I think saying Unpredictable is good. He's been using Infestors a lot recently, yet you should still mix them in sometimes in a series. He's been playing purely just Viper styles today, lots of Baneling styles, and I mean, I don't mind the Lurker style there, but I guess he was just a bit too overcommitted on that big 68 drone 1-1 Roach Ravager timing, and did cost him. Clem this time has gone for a very chill opening. Oh, Reaper actually goes into main. I was like, oh, I thought he skipped the Reaper for a second. Did force a Spore Crawler trick over there. Unable to click on the weak Zergling. Oh, don't lose it. Don't lose it. Get out. Okay. He does get out. Queen coming out for the intercept. Unable to get it. Good spotting there by Clem. Starts his third command center behind this. It's a bit more of a standard play for Dark with a quick Ling speed into the third base at a more normal timing. So no more gasless super economy shenanigans. Starport's on the way, as well as a second gas. I don't think the Banshees did enough damage in Game 1. I think especially them getting pulled home by 3 Roaches was a disaster of an opening. Oh, Dark, hitting a 44 supply block, a big one, guys. Starts an Overlord on 44. Luckily, his third base will finish in a few seconds, but yeah, still awkward there. Luckily, he doesn't have any lava available right now, so just builds 3 Overlords with what lava pops out. And as the lava injects pop, guess what? Third hatchery finishes, and then so do his Overlords. Could have been worse. Zerglings do run in. A Marine in the mineral line, along with a couple of Drilly boys trying to defend that. So, good repair. You could see Clem quickly repaired the guy that he turned to attack as well. The Zerglings split up, realizing if he stays together, the Hellions will kill them both. Dylan, the Zergling, gets away to the bottom left corner. Creep tumors are spreading. 4 queens out, going up to number 5 and 6. Clem, if he can commit hard to a 3-base timing attack, maybe just an 8 racks, I think it's a great way to kill Dark. Dark is not fantastic at defending timing attacks. I prefer even faster timing attacks. Ones where you specifically stop building workers at like 45, 50, 55, and really just hit with very early 5-racks production. Bunny is a master of those. Maru mixes them in specifically against Dark to catch him off guard. I'm thinking of their GSL finals earlier this year on Ancient Cistern, I believe it was, where I was like, wow, Maru mismacroed really badly. And then I was like, oh no, he purposely didn't build those workers to do our timing. Great defensive positioning and good choice by Clem to just be mature, be calm, pull back. No reason to overcommit there. Double Evo and 4th gas going down here for Dark. Dark's worker count is very bad, guys. He got supply blocked again on 74 and he's building 7 overlords. This is a disaster of an opening for Dark. Supply blocked on 54 and 74. Ugh. 44 and 74, I should say. You should not be even in workers with the Terran. This is a 3 command center build. He's been upgrading orbitals. He's going to be dropping triple mules. Like, if you're anywhere close to even, Clem is just going to have more stuff than you. This is the difference in how these two plays. Clem plays standard openings in 3 command center Hellion Banshee every day. Sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in one day this exact opening. Whereas Dark is almost always doing a janky, weird, gasless 3-hatch or some sort of weird roach opening. Playing a standard Ling Bane build, he's forgotten to start Carapace. He's taking little bits of damage from the Hellions denying the 4th. The Banshees take out a Queen. The drone even accidentally gets pulled down and gifted to them. Some big openings available. Depots are building right now. He hasn't finished his natural wall off, which is potentially an issue for Clem. Clem building lots of depots. 4th and 5th reactor going down. He's going to play a Biomine style. Cool. Hydroden's coming in though, so it feels like Dark is sensing that this is the case, or at least just blindly preparing for it. Getting those out will be great. He's only on 6 queens as well, so he only built 7 queens this game. He lost 1 to the Banshees. Dark playing a pretty low queen count style. Lucky to not be getting hit by a timing attack. If he was, he'd be struggling. If something hit him pre-Baneling speed, his queens have no transfuse energy or anything like that. 1, 2, 3. 3 transfuses. Well, 2. One of them just got used. Bio moving forward with some Widow Mines. Going to start the parade here. Starting to harass with Widow Mines. 2nd factory's on the way. Armory as well. Combat Shields does start up. And Biomine moving forward. Scan should be coming down, but it looks like he might not have the energy. Saves most of those units. Does lose a Widow Mine and a Marine. 7 Hydras on the way, 5 more drones, and an Infestation Pit. Dark's getting through a scary part of the game. He's got a macro hatchery. He's not getting supply blocked anymore. He's able to build pretty much nothing but army from here. He's just adding a few drones every now and then. Does remember to start his +2 melee upgrade as well, whereas Clem has not remembered to start 2-2 just yet. Hot pickup after clearing some creep tumors. He's got to start that 2-2. He's got a big push on the left. But it's past time for 2-2 to begin. 4th command center is on the way. The best defense is a good offense, says Clem. Who needs to start upgrades when you can just attack, attack, attack? It's still a scary moment in the game for Dark. Oh, the Banelings are right on top of him. He does hot pick up some of the Marines, but not without cost, man. The Widow Mines are there, ready to start firing again. Another Widow Mine gets just a few Zerglings. Still no Overseer right now. Where is the Overseer? Okay, 1 Overseer on the left. He's going to bring it to the right now. Dark does not want to build a lot of Overseers. He says just 1 will do. A few Banelings do waste themselves on it, but not the end of the world. Hive starts up as well. We've got 3 more barracks building for Clem. Clem finally starts his 2-2. About a minute late on those upgrades. Luckily for him, Dark has forgotten his Carapace upgrade once again. Let's go to Dark's vision right now. He doesn't know about that army on the top. Widowmine drop coming in on his 3rd. He spreads his drones against it. He looks back there. He spreads his drones again. He tries to rally his units. He doesn't have a lot of Banelings. He's got to be careful about fighting over here. A few more Banelings do arrive. Hydras should allow him to help defend. He goes back over there, checks what's going on, realizes the Widowmine drop's been defended by his queens. He's going to try and grab his drones, send them back to mining. He does remember to start Carapace there. And the Widowmine drop number 2 comes in. And it's going to get 4 drones, but completely shut down other than that. Widowmine drop's not really finding the mark. That being said, Clem has a 4th base landed. Oh, he's so slow to pick up. Oh my god. Oh, damn, so slow to stutter step, I should say. Widowmines do punish Dark a little bit for chasing him, but Clem, you gotta watch this when you run on creep. He's gotta start stutter stepping the moment the Lingbane runs forward. That Widowmine shot pretty good. That one not bad as well. He's doing some pretty good hot pickup micro, but he will lose control of that area and those Widowmines. 3 more barracks are building Marauders now. He does not have concussive shells. He's forgotten it in the heat and the action of this game. Both sides applying a lot of pressure. Very easy to figure out upgrades in this sort of game. +1 range is now on the way right now, as well as Adrenal. For Dark. Dark has got Vipers building. He's going to clean up a few of these Widow Mines. Oh, massive friendly fire! That Zergling lured that shot right into the Marines. He's got to pick up, get home, and heal. Does Clem. Nice split for Dark. That Widow Mine got killed before it could fire. 5th Command Center is on the way. Clem's 2-2 is finally about to finish. But it feels like Dark's shut down his momentum on that north a little bit. I'd love to see a little bit more multi-prong, a single dropship or something on the south. Something to distract him. He keeps trying to do Widow Mine drops, but look at how prepared Dark is. Look at this. And Dark's so quick, man. Oh, jeebers. Widow Mine drops just going to have to hide in the dead space for now. Dark will be way too ready for that. Viper's going to gather some energy. Get ready to shut that down with a parasitic bomb. Maxed out. Both players hitting max. Similar banks, similar resources for both sides. 2-2 done for Terran. +2 Carapace, still 20 seconds out for Zerg. New base number 6 in the bottom is going to be saying good night. Clem's still focusing on just one army at a time. I wonder if this is a response to the fact that he knows if he moves out with too many armies, Dark's really good at distracting you, pulling your eyes to look at the top, and then bam, he runs in and kills all your Marines with Banelings when you're not looking on the south. Speak of the devil. Never mind. There was no distraction with that one, but here we go. Oh, Medivacs are a little far behind. Massive Widow Mine smearing that Zerg army. It was a Widow Mine over on the right. It did die right after firing, but boy, did it land. Oh, these Widow Mines burrow on burrowing. The Lingbane runs in front of the Hydras. They can get gunned down by that pretty quickly. Nice attack in the north. Going to try and deny the creep spread. A couple of queens will go down. There's only 4 queens left. Make it 3. The Bio Mine in the top going to do what they can. The Widow Mine didn't really do anything there. And oh, he can't pick up. He can't pick up because there's a Viper. Oh, this is where Abducts become really, really slick. Very tasty. Widow Mines kill another Viper over there. The Bio has to stem. Great Widow Mine shot to cover his retreat. In the bottom left, Clem's starting to micro his heart out. Widow Mines get some decent hits. Another big boom! 17 kills! Units lost time. 2,300 resources in favor of Clem. That's about a 23, maybe 25% efficiency advantage. It's nothing too crazy, but because they're at such similar economies, it is a problem. There's mass command center building. There's a 5th base with a planetary on it. Clem is winning this game. He's got full control. Dark is not spreading creep. He's got to get some distractions in. The Ling drop in the main is a great idea. If he can pull Clem's attention away and get Clem off the aggression, it's going to make a big difference. He's also making Banelings. He's going to click in that mineral line as he could only fit 24 Zerglings in the 3 Overlords. This is a very cheap investment. Remember, this costs very little, and yet you've got to pull SCVs. You're going to lose add-ons. You've got to pull your army up to defend. Very annoying move to play against. Army in the south coming in right now for Clem. Dark has a bigger army in the top that's looking to be aggressive. In the bottom, looks like those Widow Mines do get picked off before they can burrow. Baneling's going after this bio. Lots of medevacs there. But the production is what's getting breached right now. Clem has a drop in his main base. He's losing command centers at the front. The Ling Bane rolls in. It looks like the Baneling's already killed 18 SCVs. Those Banelings we saw morphing earlier. On the left side, Dark backs off after defending his base. But command centers are burning. He's lost 1 command center and 24 SCVs. He does finally clean up the main, but even there, the Zerglings have burrowed, waiting their moment. EMP tries to go down, but the Ghost gets abducted. The Parasitic Bomb going down. He needs to bring his whole army down this ramp to defend. Dark attacking in here, maybe a little bit Cavalier. I think this might be a little too deep, but he's rolling in. He's just trading. Dark's got some good money behind it, but does he? Uh-oh. This is what I said about it being too Cavalier. If Clem keeps some counter pressure, maybe he could do something, but dude, Dark is all over him. He's losing control. Clem was winning this game, but Dark fights back the moment he gets to drop in. And as I said, the moment you pull Clem's attention away from the aggression, Clem has a 98% statistic for his offense and only 75 for his defense. He's a good defender, but he is an amazing attacker. And Dark realized if I put him on the defense, we get to play against a different version of Clem. One that I'm actually happy to play against. Unfortunately, Dark abducts the empty medevac, not the full ones. 41 SCVs have gone down. Still, Banelings rolling into that main. Dark needs to get out of there, though. He did lose control of a fair bit of his mining income. This base is solid. This base is solid for Clem, but he lost a lot of command centers and a lot of infrastructure, including depots. So he's about to be supply blocked on 169. He's still up in army supply. +3 armor, +2 vehicle plating. All these things are about to kick in. Oh, Clem thought he caught Dark off guard. Dark is like, come on, man. This is predictable. Looks like a Liberator maybe came in and traded there with the Queen. Queen and the Spore Crawler do take it out. Double Evo chambers being rebuilt here, as he does want to still get +3 carapace and +2 range. Losing those was quite expensive. No +3 carapace, especially painful for a Zerg player that relies on those upgrades for these mass swarming armies. Oh man, burrowed Banelings! Oh, I don't think it's worth. He sets them off. I don't know if that was super duper worth it. Double drop going down the south. He spots another wave of drop coming in. Very important for Clem to realize that that is an issue. If he can clean up by defending the edge of his main, that'll be great. He's got to stim those overlords down though. He's going to kill the middle base. Dark, remember, has very poor creep spread. Even though he did get a lot of infrastructure damage done, he can't really rebuild many more of these armies. In the bottom, he sneaks in along the bottom. Clem should be fine as long as he stims his units towards it in a ball, but he's not going to be able to stop it unloading. 4 SCVs get caught out in the opening. Ling Bane runs forward with the Hydras. Clem pulling back, spreading, splitting as best he can. The drop does get inside the main base. Clem is not watching. He's getting overrun right now. Ling's run in the front. The bio cleans that up, but it's in the main base where 10 SCVs have gone down. He still has not dealt with it. Clem is not aware. He's losing that situational awareness, the pressure of Dark, the unpredictability, the where the hell do these units keep coming from. The Widowmine kills all the burrowed Zerglings. That's hilarious. Don't see that every day. And looks like he saves a few Zerglings, goes to the corner to come back another day. Clem here is still looking for some tax on these forward moves. And Clem, he's built a few new depots. He's got a new planetary going up in the top right as well. If he can keep denying this base, he'll feel okay about it. This Banshee from the early game still hanging out. Infestors are on the way for Dark. I said I wanted to see more Infestors. I love that he's mixing that in. Oh, I see a big circle of Red Dead Zerg, guys. Red Dead Redemption for Clem as the Widowmine clears a perfect circle. Some people get freaked out by crop circles. Dark gets freaked out by Zergling blood circles. He's got a lot of Hydras and a lot of Banes, though. This ain't going to be easy. 4 Vipers and Infestors are out behind us, but they're nowhere near the front. Where are those Spellcasters? That was a great fight for Clem, who is trading 3,000 resources more efficient. Dark's going to give this base up, and I think that's the right call. Where are the Spellcasters, guys? There's 4 Vipers in the main, 3 Infestors. Viper and Infestor are the big playmakers. Few Zerglings still burrowed around. The Zergling drop in the bottom right was cleaned up. Bit of bio up there. Liberators sieging on that top path. A small little harassment squad going to move down the bottom. Widowmine will take out those 2 drones as they emerge. Dark sees these units. The pervert Zerglings poking their heads out, little eyeballs, and having a look around. Comes forward, kills a Spore, pulls back. Great moves by Clem, because the Viper Infestor will punish you. If you go too deep, you're going to get abducted, you're going to get fungled, you're going to get parasitic bombed. So this is getting more and more dangerous as time goes on. Spore Crawler intercepts the Liberator on the top, but it will make it past. Overseers, a lot of them are dying. Overseers are not cheap, but he doesn't need them for supply. Oh, the fungal! That's what I'm talking about! If you go too deep, the fungal can start to punish. Medevac's getting caught, and a lot of those even starting to get taken down. A few Infestors and Vipers still die, though. Great micro by Clem to make the best of a bad situation. He's trying to pull back in the north. Parasitic Bomb goes down. The Bio needs to get behind the planetary. He needs the help of that planetary, but I think Dark's going to be able to take it out. This is a huge play for Dark. Using the surprise spellcasters. Clem did not know there were spellcasters on the map because there hadn't been for many minutes, but finally he shows them. Parasitic Bombs, fungals, and so much of Clem's army gets cleaned up, still maintaining a very even units lost ratio, something that Dark is one of the few players able to do that. A lot of those SCVs get taken out on the retreat. Clem only on 48 workers versus 65. This game's going to slow right down. They are still neck and neck in supply this deep. The Infestor pops up from underground, drops a fungal, and cleans up a pack of extra Marines. Dude, this is a fantastic game. Unfortunately, Dark never replaced Queens and has not been respreading creep. There's one difference between a guy like Serral and a guy like Dark in these scrappy late game scenarios. Serral will always rebuild Queens, respread creep. Serral will always focus on getting advantages in many areas. Whereas Dark, he's been trying to hit him with great multi-prong, some very good fancy engagements, but he does lack the kind of extra control from things like creep behind it. Now, that's an abduct there, but there was nothing there to shoot it. Ooh, okay, does detonate some banelings to take out those 3 Widow Mines. Bio Army pushing forward in the north. Dark is down 30 army supply. He's finally got +3 carapace finished, but he cannot defend this base. He has to give it up right now. He's building 6 Vipers. That's got to be a mistake. There's no way you want 6 Vipers here, guys. Maybe you could argue Infestors might get value, but even that's probably too many. 2 Vipers, 4 Infestors is probably the perfect count. Things do unburrow, try to run in there. 49 workers versus 74. Dark has a massive worker advantage, and right now he has an income advantage, but it's not a massive one. Going to try and deny this 3rd base on the bottom, and then maybe try and get up the top and deny the top right. This base is still very fresh, and that's where Clem's main focus is. And he's denying these middle bases as well. If Dark doesn't mine out the middle bases, inevitably the Terran will get a chance to do it. Oh, God! Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, wait, why no? Dark! Leaving money on the table there, guys. Oh, he could have fungled all that bio. That's a good chunk of bio. Well worth it. I mean, he knows you have Infestors at this point. Definitely should have been willing to pop up that Infestor. I think he didn't want to pop up the 3 on top of it, and he probably forgot about the other one. If you pop up on top of it, obviously the bio would kill those Infestors instantly, even if you get a fungal off. It's not worth losing all the Infestors necessarily. Clem realizing that Dark is going to be ambushing. These guys have been playing such awesome series lately. Clem has looked unstoppable. For those who don't know, Clem has actually been getting a lot of people complaining about balance recently. He has been destroying everybody in every matchup, including TVT. Oh! Fungal does land, but antiparasitic bombs as well, but he still saves 8 units. The Widowmine also got a nice smear, a red circle of Zerglings over there on the left as well. Zerglings unburrowing the back of the natural. Bio skirmishing with the Hydras. Hydras will win that battle. Another hatchery cancelled. Oh, that one doesn't even get cancelled. It gets killed. This is so frustrating right now for Dark. How does he get control of this area? It seems like such a widespread map. Going Broodlords seems like a bit of a crazy choice, and yet at the same time, I do think it would be a good one. Because I think if you surprise him with Broodlords on the top, he could do great, but oh, Burrow Fungal. But he didn't wait on the second one. He threw it too early. Clem's going to escape there. Oh, Dark. That Infestor also doesn't reburrow until a bit too late. Scan will take that out. He needed to wait on the second burrow so that he could stop him from picking up. Great Fungal there. Catches a few Marauders and it goes from retreating. Another Fungal does land a bit further behind, but Clem's already spreading backwards, bringing his whole army to bear down here. Lurker Rass in the top doing great. Lots of SCVs taking damage. Liberators will try to deal with that. Turrets taking damage though. In the bottom, Clem pulls back, avoids the worst of the Fungals, and counterattacks now. Really nice play by him. And the Ghosts here trying to snipe. The Vipers go down. There's no Overseers in the mix to kill those. The Medevac's going to quickly pick up and pull away. Says there's no reason to stay here. I've got the top right covered with mines and libs. I've got this base mining. I'm back up to 58 workers. If I get a planetary up here, that's going to be great. Dark, on the other hand, is struggling. He's going to make +3 range here. He's making Lurkers, but actually there's only 2 Ghosts out. Lurkers could be a game winner. It's essentially just Marine Marauder Widowmine. Lurkers are very good against that style. Dark may still have a win condition available. This is actually awesome. I'd love to see more drops from him as well, getting Lurkers in the back. There's so many Liberators and Widowmines spread across the map. That means this army is quite small, and Lurkers are going to be a big problem. Good spready on the Medevac there, but it does pull back and starts damaging. 4 Medevacs just went down to 1 Parasitic Bomb. The Command Center lifts off. It takes a massive amount of damage. He's going to try and defend his production, but look, the Lurkers are here. They've got ramp control. Dark clutching victory from the jaws of defeat. Is he doing it again? This game has been so awesome. This series has been an absolute banger. Command Center burns down in the natural. Another one getting very weak in the main base as well. Liberator gets abducted. The Marine Marauder stimming and taking these units out. That Command Center burns down. Dude, he's going to take out Clem's production. Clem's trying to counterattack right now, realizing he cannot afford to rebuild all of this production. And the Lurkers, there was no way of breaking those Lurkers once they got ramp control. Dude, this is such a big problem for Clem. It looked like he fought his way back from the brink of defeat and really held on against crazy multi-prong aggression. Got himself a slow, consistent lead. And at the 11th hour, this reminds me of them playing a few seasons ago on maps like Data Sea, where Dark would be so dead, and then in the late game, Clem would get out of position just a little bit, and Dark would pounce. He would sniff a tiny bit of weakness, and he would pounce. Now, to be fair, it's not over yet. Why? Because Clem has mules. He's still got some command centers. He's only got one orbital, though. He lost most of his command centers, and most of his production didn't lift off in time. He'll save a few barracks, but that's it. He didn't rebuild any factories in time. He's just making barracks right now. And even though he kills the bases, I mean, Dark's still got this base, mining a bit of minerals. That's mining a fair bit. He does need a new hatchery there. I mean, right now, Clem's mining more than him, but for how much longer? 2 command centers are building so he can have some scans. He's only got 9 Marines, 6 Marauders, and a Liberator. Dark is just going to be able to rally in. There's no production. All Clem's spending his money on his infrastructure right now. He's also almost supply blocked. He's going to have to rebuild his depots. Dark, with a savage maneuver, breaches the main of Terran. You know, breaching the main of a Zerg is really not that big a deal. You replace a few tech structures before the hive goes down. Doesn't really matter. But Terran has to spend a lot more time investing in that infrastructure, much like Protoss. And that was a brilliant way of getting yourself back in the game. Dark, the mad lad, once again, defies our expectations. I was starting to commentate like, man, what can he even do from here? He's got no creep. Clem's got too much control of the map. But he realized that with all this non-stop fighting, Clem was kind of just stuck on a low-tier army of Marine Marauder. And that combined with not being that good at breaking out against lurkers, with the fact that his positioning was a little lax for just a moment, Dark pounces, and Dark gets a 2-to-1 advantage in this absolute banger of a series. Well, I thought he'd be up 2-to-1 right now, but he's down 1-to-2. Clem in the bottom right side, fighting out of his mind that game. But fighting even more out of his mind in the top left. Dragon Kaiser Gaming's Dark. What an absolute savage, man. That was an incredible comeback. Someone in chat was like, so were the Vipers actually a mistake? I don't know. I don't know if he consciously chose to go to 8 Vipers. That's absolutely insane. And also awesome, because they did end up getting a lot of parasitic bombs and killing a lot of medevacs. It's just normally you're going to lose track of them. You're going to accidentally stack them all together, get them EMP'd. He didn't make any of those mistakes. Dark kept rotating them in and out, gathering energy, throwing parasitic bombs after parasitic bombs, and fungal ambushes really started to turn that game around as well. And a very wise swap into lurkers at the end of the game. What a cool game, man. That was very, very cool. And this queen's coming so far off creep right now. Clem's like, what? Only Dark would chase you this far. This is such a Dark move. You're like, wait a second, you can't defend your creep, right? If he ran past, he gets a free creep tumor there. But Clem's just so confused by what Dark's doing with that queen that he ends up backing away with the Reaper. Oh, Lings came in. Ooh, gets an SCV. Can he get 3? Looks like just 2. Oh, no, there we go. 3, including delaying the command center slightly. A full scout as well. All while distracting Clem with that queen, hoping that he got caught off and the Reaper did go down. 3 queens are building right now. It's a rule of 1 gas build. Dark only mining with a single worker. And he's going to wait until he saturates all 3 mineral lands before he takes any more. Classic Legacy of the Void Terran, or Zerg vs. Terran. Cloak's on the way. It's going to be the Cloak Banshee. Nice safe opening for Clem once again. Dude, what a crazy game that last one was. Because there was that moment when that first big push caught a bunch of the command centers and pushed in and made Clem's 3rd liftoff and his natural liftoff, and he lost all this infrastructure. The fact that that happened early, Clem came back, and then later on, he got in the natural again? Wow. Wow. Hey, Reaper Alien gets a creep tumor. Not too bad. Getting himself a little bit of value. Doesn't show up as a kill because it hadn't finished building. That's why this unit's lost tab. As useful as it is, it does miss some things. Whereas if that's finished building, like this one dies, it'll show up as a creep tumor up here. 9 queen opening into a lot of Zerglings. Clem's like, what the hell? He's like, you cheeky little bugger. Do not get your aliens surrounded. So when you see that many, you have to be extra careful to just not get surrounded and keep those Hellions alive to defend your bases from mining. Because Dark is, he's made 30 Zerglings off 40 drones. It's a crazy early time in the game to stop droning and build all of that. He's going to try and play double Evo Chamber, but he's basically saying, if I just keep attacking, Clem is way better on offense than defense. I always win these series by putting the onus back on him to defend really well. Now, leaving that Overlord there, I'm not a big fan of. I really feel his Marines should be moving over here. I don't like where he's really moving those Marines. These other Marines should have moved to the south if he was going to do that. Is it enough, though? Nope. Nice save there by Dark. Lings are coming in. Oh, Lings are coming in. Watch out, Clem. Oh, okay. I think he should be all right. Pretty quick reaction as long as he just runs those SCVs and those mules away. Gets his Marines solid. Hellions will be back here to help. Beautiful defense there by Clem. Very good handling. 1-1's on the way for him, though it is a little behind Dark's upgrades as Dark starts a macro hatchery. He's going to take the 4th base up front. And I wonder which 5th does he take? I guess this one. Kind of, yeah. Otherwise, a push down here can isolate the right and the left base. And that was the one thing I was very critical of Zergs for always doing back on Gressven in the last map pool. Hellion Reaper moving in the left, starting to take out the hatchery. Hatchery on the right as well. Dark trying to rush 6 bases. I like this move. Basically, Dark's whole play here is I'm just going to try and take 6 bases, and if whichever one you push, I'm ready to give up. He's already rushing Burrow, mass Zerglings, Baneling Nest on the way. I think he's going to go Infestation Pit. I think we're going to see a Lingbane Infester into Ultra style. He might skip the Hydras this time around. Though, it is Widowmine play for Clem, so once you see that, you're probably going to want to invest in that. Yeah, quick Infestation Pit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Infestors, but he doesn't have enough gas just yet. Notice he is on 6 gas. Oh no, he's only on 5. So he can't really afford Infestors with this style, especially not with Overlord speed. I think he wants to keep dropping that main base like he did in the previous games. Nice dropping for Clem, though. Clem's trading at 2-to-1 efficiency. Drop on the left, Hellions and Banshees on the right. Keeping a good bit of map control. Triple Widowmines building at a time, 4th command center. Clem's rushing to late game, as is Dark. That being said, Dark's only on 75 workers. I think Dark's kind of waiting for Clem to overcommit and make a mistake, and then Dark can get further ahead, but Dark doesn't really like rushing to like 80 or 90 workers on his own. Beautiful pick up there by Clem. I love that he sent those medevacs in early. I've noticed he's been a little lazy with that in some of these games where he's sending the medevacs in a little bit late. That time he did it well ahead of time. Hellbats, Widowmines, and Marines on the front. Ling's trying to come in. There is a massive Lings coming in on this base. Good pullback so far. The Hellbat's trading very nicely. Marines coming back in on the left. Dark has to split his army up again. A few Lings try to run in, but they just burrow. Good pickups. Clem's going to go back inside the main base yet again. Spore Crawler's trying to build there, which is very important with this style, but they don't cover the edge just yet. Going to need to spread some creep there if he wants to do that. Look at that. Lings unburrow, and then they reburrow on these bases. What a nuisance. It's like a few Zerglings and a Marine go down up there. Clem maintaining some pressure, but this could explode very quickly for either side. 85 workers for Dark, 70 for Clem. A very close game right now. The Widowmine bio spread, he's looking dangerous. I think Dark may need to give this base up. He's actually lost the top right, so he doesn't want to go back to 4 bases. Not against a 4-base Terran. That being said, that single Zergling giving the middle finger up over the shoulder. Those 2 Zerglings saying, you can't land here. You can't sit with us. You're wearing the wrong pants. Anyways, the Marines are going to get picked up by the medevacs. They're going to pull back. Okay. Ooh, Banelings do find the mineral line. A few SCVs go down. I think leaving a medevac or an SCV there on auto repair would be a great move to slowly heal all them up so that they don't die to the next Zergling that gets in the mineral line. Great pressure from Clem, but he's got to make sure he's also solid on the defense. We all know that Clem's philosophy is just keep attacking. But Dark's going to try and go across this map eventually. You got to be careful to be ready for that, Clem. Clem, he just missed this army coming down on the left. Planetary is not quite up. Those SCVs are exposed. Oh, great timing by Dark. Beautiful timing. Comes in on the right side as well. SCVs quickly evacuate. 12 SCVs go down on that base. Clem chases him off on the left, but on the right, the Banelings take a bit too long He's going to burrow a few banelings in the mineral line. They get scanned and taken out. Nicely done there by Clem. But Clem's 4th base should have been up and mining minutes ago. And this is what I was talking about, being solid on the defense. You can be solid on the offense all you want as Dark burrows 7 banelings. But you do need to make sure your expansions are both defended and get themselves up into the later stages of the game as well. Clem's got a 5th command center on the way, plus 3 weapons is on the way, whereas 3-3's already started for Dark. Dark is still ahead on the upgrades, and he's got chitinous plating. Ultras, I was also thinking, would have been an even easier unit than the Lurker to potentially turn around that last game. Ultras are cheaper than they used to be. 275 minerals, they're a fantastic unit, especially on these maps where they get quite spread out as the game goes on. This is one of the more contained maps. It's a bit more similar to Dragon Scales in layout, but still one where you can definitely pick them apart. A few queens do go down in the main. Nice transfuse to save that queen, but the lings pull away, meaning some more drones will go down. And Clem here pushing the left and the right at the same time. Dark could not keep up the pace. I guess he just traded really badly in the last few minutes. I'll admit, I'm fatigued after a long day casting this tournament, and sloppy on me not to catch that earlier. But let's just take a very quick look 30 seconds earlier. Was he actually? Yeah, I mean, I guess he's struggling to keep up. Clem's asking for a 2-minute breather, so we've got a moment to analyze this replay. I mean, I guess it's just the units lost tab being roughly 2-1. A lot of the Ling Bane, remember, traded, but didn't actually get the big damage that I guess he was looking for. Those Banelings got cleaned up. These Banelings were not in the path of this army that was coming through for the counterattack. He tries to run them in. Clem was really well defending, catches more Banelings in the middle. The drop in the main starts killing units. And he doesn't have enough gas to build Ultras, so even though he's got 1,200 minerals, and he's got like a bit of lava there, Dark's just kind of like, oh man, I've only got a few Lings and Banes. Like, I've just actually lost too much momentum. Clem's been hitting me from too many sides all at once. And where did he look at as he hit GG? He was just looking at that army and he said, I can't defend both sides at once. That's it. Taps out. Well played by Clem. All right, guys. It's all decided here on Alcyon. We've got a Reaper Expand opening for Clem. He's going to SCV Scout. Doesn't want to take any chances. Team Liquid up against, of course, Dark for Dragon Kaiser Gaming in the bottom left. And he is going for a pretty standard hatchery gas pool opening. 2 queens and 4 zerglings starting at the 2-minute mark. And Clem looking to block the expansion. Now that's interesting. Does Clem think it's favorable to force him to take the 3rd and the 4th up here? I feel like a lot of Zergs expand in that direction anyway because they don't really want to be fighting near this watchtower. So that's like the natural side for Zerg to expand on. So this is actually a very weird choice for Clem to block the right base, because that right side is an absolute trap. If you take the gold of Zerg, you're basically throwing the game and giving a win to the Terran. It's so easy to push that gold base. Ooh. Good pressure so far. Overlord for Dark does take a fair bit of damage. Sorry, guys. Accidentally brought up the effective APM tab. Reaper does get pushed back, sees the 3rd hatchery on the left, and of course the SCV has returned to mine, no longer blocking. I'm going to try to go to the high ground, but not worth it. When you're so damaged, you don't want to risk losing this Reaper. Dark's being a nuisance, moving far out off creep, and he's sneaking those Lings across again. Dark's favorite move. So the Hellions start really early here for Clem, and he's delayed the starport, and now the 2nd gas will go down in a minute. Or in a second, I should say, on the natural. Good move with the Reaper. And the Hellions are ready. Deflects the Zerglings, but good reaction by Dark. He just pulls back. So he's like, okay, I don't lose any. As long as I don't lose any Zerglings, we all good. Reapers are going to run to the right side. Are they? Oh, he's trying to cut the Lings off. He focuses the red hit point Ling. Oh, that's the most Clem move ever. Of course he focuses the red hit point Zergling. More queens and drones on the way. No big supply blocks that I've noticed from Dark. And he's not going to be supply blocked on 58, which is great. Does need to rally out to that 3rd base, though, and he's only got 4 queens. His extra queen's very delayed, and he starts a 4-minute lair. He's going to try and play Mutalisks this game. This is a sloppy Mutalisk build. It could work really well. Mutas are very good against Banshees because you can shut those down and get full map control. A Terran who goes for, say, 6 to 8 Hellions and Banshees is going to be very slow on his 2nd and 3rd barracks. Luckily for Clem, it is just 6 Hellions, not 8, and he gets those barracks started. You need those barracks out. Now we've got Overlord speed and a Rotorrent. Oh my god, he's going to do a German taxi! Dark is doing a German taxi! It is a 41 drone, 4 gas, Queen, Ravager, Zergling, all in. Very good at killing Banshee openings. I don't know who I cast him doing this verse recently. I don't know if it was Dark or someone else. I saw someone do this build on this map in these same spawns recently. I think it might have been him versus Future, actually. He tried to pull this one off. Anyways, second Banshee's coming out. Those barracks need to pump, and he needs to see what's happening. Because look at that. The taxi's already morphing at the front. He accidentally attacks it. That's a mistake. And seeing no drones on the third, Clem needs to just build bunkers right now. 2-3 bunkers. Anything to survive. He needs to put his factory on the tech lab. I think he's going to wait for the Banshee to get out and then put that on that tech lab and lift off. He scans, he sees a roach horn, he sees a bunch of gases and a spore, and he sees now the German taxi on its way across the map. Oh, he's gonna let Cloak finish. No, it doesn't really matter because obviously there will be an Overseer with it. The Overseer's been left behind. Guys, he left his Overseer at home. Clem can cloak the Banshee and keep it alive. He forgot to bring the Overseer. Dark. Oh my god, Dark forgot to bring the Overseer. The rest of his army is also lagging behind. This is a disjointed timing. He's forgot to rally his Zerglings forward. He's making Ravages. He'll still hit soon after 6 minutes. But look at that. The Banshees are actually doing pretty good damage right now. And does get a Roach. He's forcing the Queens back. Could get one more Roach there would be nice. Good damage. And he can just sit behind this, right? Try to work on the Zerglings and Ravages as they rally across. Nice transfuse there for Dark, but really good moves by Clem so far. He's going to put a tank on the ramp so that it can't be spotted. More tanks and more Marines are building. Stim will be ready soon. There are already more depots building in the back of the main, and he's dropping supply drops rather than mules to get immediate boosts to his production because he knows these depots are going down. Banshees are still out there in the middle of the map trying to cut off the reinforce. The Zerglings are going to re-rallying past that. Hellions and Marines are here. Bunkers are not repairing. The Marines stim forward. He kills all the Lings and the Ravages. The Banshees raining down death on the rallying units. The Queen drop unable to do anything here. Dark gets absolutely shot down. Clem playing some rock-solid StarCraft. I mean, a lot of people see a Dark all-in. They think of big, giant tsunamis. We're talking in Interstellar when they go down onto that planet with the goddamn giant, you know, it's near the black hole or whatever. It has the giant skyscraper-sized waves coming across it. Like, that's what you think of. Little did we realize this is like a small splash from the side of a pond because someone went past in their dinghy. That's the wave that just landed on Clem's shores. Clem did not even give a crap. He barely even blinked. He scouted it so well. Dark did a horrendous job of hiding it, to be fair. He did not fake transfer drones to his third. He was slow on building his queens. His opening was not great. I was like, hey, he's not supply blocked. But then I realized, wait, he doesn't have any queens. Wait, he's not droning his third. And it was like, oh no. He was going for an all-in, and it was not a well-timed all-in at all. Now it's Clem's turn to counterattack. Lots of Marines, lots of tanks against the guy who's going double Evo Chamber Infestation Pit. Dark still droning. He does not know that there's an attack coming. He's tried to drop creep inside the main, but that there, I mean, much like going into your mortal enemy's house and taking a poo on their doorstep, it may annoy them, but it's not necessarily particularly effective. He's got to get out of here. He's going to try and run. Oh my god, he's so slow on the pickups. Dark fumbling his micro. He does get 2 queens out of there, but for how long? I love that he was trying to spread creep on the map, you know, trying to spread it forwards and then spread it backwards. He's trying to build 5 infestors, but he's got no army. 25 Zerglings, 3 Ravagers, and a Roach. Clem could literally just stim in and win right now. If the infestors get out, though, they might save his day. Clem is taking his time. He's macroing well behind this. More Marines and tanks are on the way. The Ling Roach Ravager pulling back. The infestors coming in. The infestors, I believe, have been spotted at this point. He's got to be careful, though. Fungal is 1 less range than it used to be. It's more dodgeable than it's been in a while. Oh, get out of there. Medevacs need to pick up the tanks. And he saves 2 of the tanks. 1 tank does get taken out on the ground there. The other one's spreading to make sure they don't get biled and fungled at the same time. So hitting a single target with that is near impossible. You can fungal it, but it's still got 25% movement speed, and it will be able to dodge the bile. Clem shut that down so well. He is miles ahead. But it's Dark, man. The fact that Dark's even still alive on 70 workers, he's even building 10 more workers, which he doesn't even have a 4th hatchery building, so he's got nowhere for those workers to mine from. He's trying to defend Banshees with corrosive bile right now. Oh my lord. Does he even have a spore in the natural? Okay, he does have a spore crawler in the natural. Clem is dancing around his base, though. 12 worker kills. Oh. And he's got a big Marine drop moving down the right. Infestors on the front. Oh, God. Oh, God. Infestors. Medevacs. I think the Medevacs saw him. Oh, my God. Infestors! Okay, good fungal, man. Ooh, 2 infestors went down though. Got a bit greedy trying to catch him there. A nice pickup. Clem is miles ahead. 4th command center building. 2-2 is on the way. 3 more barracks building. Clem not taking any risks right now. He wants to just finish this fight off in the cleanest possible fashion. Keep expanding, keep macroing, and doing all sort of that stuff. Marines and medevacs hanging out. He's going to take the watchtower. 5 infestors are building right now. I love that he's going mass burrowed fungal, man. I feel like infestors are such a good comeback unit. The problem is he can't afford 2-2 right now. He doesn't have gas on his 4th base yet. He's trying to get it. He needs to do nothing but make Roach Ravager behind this and just look for crazy good engagements. Nice fungal, gets a few Marines. There's other infestors coming out now. He's got 8 infestors, 6 Ravagers, 15 Roaches. He needs to morph as many Roaches and Ravagers as he can. Man, finally lands one of those big fungals. I've been kind of waiting for that. I think he could have done a follow-up there. Dark's being a little defensive. I think he feels like Clem's trying to bait him into running too far forwards. And, oh, that infestor there. Clem's spready's just so good, man. Spready just isn't, sorry, Clem, I'm calling him Spready now. That's his nickname. Spready just isn't afraid of these fungals. He's dodging them so well, especially here on the Central US server in the final game of this series, the deciding match. A little bit of delay going to make it very hard on both sides, both landing fungals, but also dodging them reactively. Another tank drop coming forward across this map. Medevac with 2 siege tanks trying to inch forward. The Marine Marauder comes up. The Infestors throwing another fungal, but never quite landing it as deep as they once were able to. The Marines are up forward. Another fungal lands on the ramp, but Clem is avoiding any really bad fungals. And I think Dark has to give this base up and move to the top left, but he hasn't started expanding there yet. And that's a problem. His 2-2 is nowhere near done. He's down 2 upgrades right now. He needs a big fungal. I mean, this bio is running way too far forward. I got to say, Dark's fungals are not looking as lit as they normally are. Banshee's in the top left. 29 kills between the 2 of them. 2 tanks still building. 5th command center on the way. Oh, EMP all over the infestors. Only 1 fungal left, and it completely whiffs. Dark's fungals really leaving something to be desired in this game. The rest of his roaches finally coming in here, but all of his Ravagers are gone. I think he'd kind of lost hope at that point. Clem shut down the all-in incredibly hard, and he wins the series 3-2. What a close series. These guys are playing non-stop bangers lately. Damn, GG, well played.